The Benny Hill Show stands as one of the most recognizable comedy programs in television history, blending slapstick humor, visual gags, musical parody, and rapid-fire sketches into a format that reached audiences across the world. At its peak, it was not just a British television export but a global entertainment phenomenon, broadcast in more than 100 countries and instantly identifiable by its jaunty theme music and frenetic chase sequences. Benny Hill, the man behind the show, became a household name, known for his mischievous grin, exaggerated physical comedy, and ability to play multiple characters within a single sketch. His work drew on traditions from British music hall entertainment, silent film comedy, and early radio humor, combining them into something uniquely his own. Yet, beneath the surface of laughter and universal popularity, the show also became a lightning rod for controversy as cultural attitudes toward comedy evolved. What once seemed cheeky and harmless gradually came under scrutiny for its portrayal of gender roles and its reliance on visual objectification in certain sketches. By the late 1980s, criticism had intensified, and debates around taste, appropriateness, and shifting social norms began to overshadow the program's comedic legacy. The eventual cancellation of the show in 1989 was not the result of a single moment, but rather a culmination of changing public sentiment and increasing discomfort with its style of humor. Understanding this shift requires looking both at Benny Hill's personal journey and the broader transformation of television comedy during his era. Early life and family influences. Alfred Hawthorne Hill, later known to the world as Benny Hill, was born in Southampton, England in the early 1920s. His upbringing was shaped by a working-class family with unexpected ties to performance and entertainment. His father worked in a surgical appliance shop, a stable but unglamorous profession, while his grandfather had once been a circus clown, hinting at a generational thread of theatrical inclination. This contrast between practical trades and performative artistry created a background in which humor and discipline coexisted in subtle ways. From an early age, Hill displayed an interest in entertainment, influenced by the variety acts and comedic styles popular in British culture at the time. Music hall performances, with their blend of comedy, music, and theatrical exaggeration, left a particularly strong impression on him. These shows emphasized timing, physical expression, and audience engagement, skills Hill would later refine and incorporate into his television work. His formal education took place in Southampton, but it did not immediately point him toward a career in performance. Instead, he explored a range of ordinary jobs, including work in retail and manual labor. These early experiences outside of show business exposed him to a wide range of personalities and everyday situations, many of which later informed his comedic characters. The blend of ordinary life and theatrical curiosity became a defining feature of his creative outlook, helping him build humor that felt both accessible and exaggerated. Early jobs and entry into performance. Before becoming a household name, Hill worked in a variety of jobs that had little to do with entertainment. He spent time at Woolworths, worked as a milkman, operated machinery as a bridge attendant, drove vehicles, and even performed as a drummer. These roles may seem unrelated, but they contributed to his understanding of rhythm, timing, and human behavior, key ingredients in his later comedy. Each job exposed him to different environments and social interactions, allowing him to observe the quirks of everyday life. Eventually, Hill found his way toward the entertainment industry by working as an assistant stage manager for a touring revue. This role proved to be a turning point. While not yet a performer, he gained valuable behind-the-scenes knowledge of how theatrical productions were organized, including stage timing, coordination, and audience flow. Observing performers closely gave him insight into what made audiences react, laugh, and engage, This backstage experience also helped him develop discipline and adaptability. Touring productions required flexibility, quick thinking, and the ability to handle unpredictable circumstances. These skills later became essential when he transitioned into live performance and television. The combination of observational learning and practical stage exposure laid the groundwork for his future career, even before he stepped into the spotlight himself. Wartime service and development of performance skills during the Second World War. Hill was called up for military service, where he trained as a mechanic in the Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers. This technical role required precision, problem solving, and mechanical understanding, all of which contributed to his practical mindset. He also served in various operational roles, including truck driving and searchlight operation, particularly during key campaigns such as the Normandy operations. These responsibilities placed him in high-pressure environments where coordination and timing were critical. A significant shift occurred when Hill joined the Combined Services Entertainment Division. This unit was responsible for boosting troop morale through live performances, bringing comedy, music, and theater to military personnel. Here, Hill began performing more actively, gaining experience in front of live audiences under challenging conditions. Unlike traditional theater settings, military entertainment required immediacy and adaptability, as audiences were often diverse and unpredictable. This period proved crucial in shaping Hill's comedic instincts. He learned how to adjust his performance based on audience reaction, refine comedic timing, and maintain energy in difficult environments. The experience also reinforced the importance of physical comedy and clear visual storytelling, since performances often needed to transcend language and background differences. These wartime lessons would later become central to his television style. Inspiration from comedy traditions and early career steps. Hill's comedic style did not emerge in isolation. It was heavily influenced by earlier entertainment traditions. British music hall performers, known for their exaggerated characters and comedic timing, played a major role in shaping his approach. He was also inspired by international comedians, particularly those who excelled in radio and early film comedy. One notable influence was Jack Benny, whose stage persona contributed to Hill's chosen professional name. After the war, Hill transitioned into radio, making his debut on Variety Bandbox in 1947. This platform exposed him to a wider audience and allowed him to refine his comedic voice. Radio required strong vocal expression and timing, as there were no visual elements to rely on. Hill developed the ability to create humor purely through dialogue and sound, an essential skill that later complemented his visual comedy. As television began to rise in popularity, Hill moved into the new medium in 1950. This transition allowed him to expand his comedic range, incorporating physical gestures, visual gags, and character transformations. The combination of radio discipline and visual experimentation helped him develop a flexible and dynamic performance style that would define his career. Rise of The Benny Hill Show. An early success, The Benny Hill Show first premiered in 1955, marking the beginning of a long-running television legacy. The program drew heavily from variety entertainment, combining sketches, musical interludes, and comedic monologues into a single format. Unlike traditional sitcoms, the show relied on short, fast-paced segments that allowed Hill to showcase multiple characters and comedic styles within a single episode. The early years of the show were shaped by collaboration with a rotating cast of performers and writers. These contributors helped bring diversity to the sketches and supported Hill's vision of broad, accessible humor. Recurring characters quickly became a hallmark of the program, allowing audiences to build familiarity with comedic personas over time. Hill's ability to shift between roles, sometimes within the same sketch, became one of his defining strengths. He could portray authority figures, everyday workers, or exaggerated caricatures with equal ease. This versatility contributed to the show's popularity, as viewers never knew what to expect from one segment to the next. The blend of unpredictability and consistency helped establish the program as a staple of British television. Expansion into television, innovation, and style as television evolved. So did the structure of Hill's show. One of its most distinctive features became the use of pre-recorded segments combined with studio performances. This hybrid format allowed for greater creativity in staging, editing, and visual storytelling. Hill increasingly relied on slapstick humor, visual exaggeration, and non-verbal comedy, which made the show accessible to international audiences regardless of language. The introduction of elaborate chase sequences became a signature element. These scenes often featured fast-paced movement, comedic chaos, and a rotating cast of characters running through various environments. The use of undercranked filming techniques gave these sequences a sped-up, almost cartoon-like quality. This style reinforced the show's surreal tone and helped distinguish it from more traditional comedy programs. Hill's approach to comedy during this period was heavily visual. Rather than relying solely on dialogue, he emphasized physical expression, timing, and reaction. This made the show particularly effective in global markets, where cultural differences might otherwise limit humor. The universal nature of physical comedy contributed significantly to its international success. Global popularity and international reach by the late 1960s and 1970s. The Benny Hill Show had grown into a global entertainment phenomenon. Its transition to Thames Television marked a new phase, with longer specials and higher production values. These changes allowed for more elaborate sketches and expanded musical numbers, further enhancing the show's visual appeal. The program's humor transcended language barriers, making it suitable for international syndication. Broadcast in numerous countries, it gained a diverse fan base that appreciated its energetic style and physical comedy. Hill's ability to portray multiple characters within a single episode added to its universal appeal, as audiences could easily follow visual storytelling without relying heavily on dialogue. However, this global reach also amplified scrutiny. As cultural norms evolved in different regions, certain aspects of the show began to draw criticism. What was once seen as harmless entertainment started to be questioned in terms of representation and appropriateness. Despite this, the show maintained strong viewership for many years, remaining a significant cultural export of British television. Changing cultural attitudes and emerging criticism by the late 1970s and 1980s. Public attitudes toward comedy were beginning to shift. Humor that relied on exaggerated stereotypes or visual objectification increasingly faced criticism. The Benny Hill Show, with its reliance on physical comedy and flirtatious chase sequences, became a focal point in these discussions. Critics argued that certain sketches reflected outdated attitudes toward gender roles and lacked sensitivity to evolving social norms. While many viewers still enjoyed the show's humor, others began to see it as inconsistent with modern values. This divide reflected broader cultural changes in television and entertainment, where new forms of comedy were emerging that prioritized satire and character-driven storytelling over slapstick exaggeration. These criticisms did not immediately end the show's popularity, but they contributed to a growing perception that its style belonged to an earlier era. The tension between audience enjoyment and critical reception became increasingly pronounced during this period. Controversial sketches and public backlash among the various criticisms directed at the show. Certain sketches from its later years drew particular attention. Scenes involving beauty pageants exaggerated chase sequences, and suggestive humor were often cited as examples of content that no longer aligned with changing cultural expectations. One such sketch, featuring satirical depictions of a pageant environment, became widely discussed in media debates about television standards. The backlash was not limited to a single moment, but reflected a broader reassessment of comedic boundaries. Viewers and commentators began questioning whether certain types of humor were appropriate for mainstream broadcasting. This shift placed increasing pressure on the program, even as it continued to attract a loyal audience. The controversy surrounding these sketches contributed to declining support from broadcasters, who became more cautious about content that might provoke public criticism. As a result, the show's creative direction faced growing limitations affecting its long-term viability. Decline of the show and final years. By the 1980s, the Benny Hill Show was no longer the dominant force it once had been. While still popular with segments of the audience, it faced increasing competition from newer forms of comedy that reflected contemporary tastes. Production changes, scheduling adjustments, and shifting network priorities all contributed to its gradual decline. The decision to cancel the show in 1989 marked the end of an era. Although no single incident was solely responsible, the combination of cultural change, critical scrutiny, and evolving audience expectations played a significant role. Hill himself remained a recognizable figure, but his style of comedy was increasingly associated with a bygone television era. Despite its cancellation, the show's influence persisted. Its visual style, timing techniques, and sketch-based format continued to inspire comedians and writers, even as newer generations reinterpreted comedy in different ways. Conclusion and lasting impact on comedy. The legacy of the Benny Hill Show remains complex, shaped by both widespread popularity and later criticism. At its height, it represented a form of comedy that transcended language and cultural boundaries, relying on physical humor, expressive performance, and fast-paced editing. Benny Hill's ability to embody multiple characters and create instantly recognizable comedic situations made him one of the most distinctive entertainers of his time. At the same time, the show's later controversies highlight how entertainment is shaped by the cultural values of its era. What was once widely accepted became subject to reevaluation as society's expectations evolved. This tension between legacy and criticism continues to define how the show is remembered today. Ultimately, the Benny Hill phenomenon reflects the broader history of television comedy itself, its evolution, its boundaries, and its constant negotiation with changing audience sensibilities.